Hi there, lovely Libra. Happy birthday. This is your month. I will be doing your love reading right now. So, romance happens in different ways. And sometimes in our journey towards meeting that significant other, or if you already are in a relationship with your significant other, there are always obstacles. And matters of the heart are always dear to me and dear to everyone. So, for a bit, I was contemplating should I do love readings or not, and my only reason being that I hope to encourage people to know that all the love they need is within themselves, and that the love that they deserve is in correspondence to what you know about how to love you. I just hope that with these readings, you're able to evolve and grow, and know that I've worked with couples, I've worked with people who've had broken hearts, I've had my own share. And so these readings they're deep. So if you're ready to go there, it's great, and I'm ready to go there with you. And let's see how it goes. I know that when I do a reading, usually specifically, people tend to ask more about the romantic quotient of their life. And that's perfectly fine. Sometimes they will get answers with the cards and through the intuitive or whoever they're speaking with. And it can be remarkable. It can be such a salve when our heart's wounded, broken, or you just fell in love and it's confusing, or you're in a marriage where there's difficulty, there are things that switch and change, and you're changing as people. It's a huge part of the human condition. It's a huge part of where our mind likes to go. And it's a beautiful part of life. So I hope this brings a sense of peace, a sense of guidance, a sense of a way you can be the light worker in your life, and you're able to meet your goal, whatever that may be, in a relationship. And that if you already are in one, hopefully this will bring some light to your circumstances and help you develop into a better mate, or receive a better mate, or just to help your soul feel some comfort and knowing in the direction you might be going. Okay? So if this resonates with you, please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you'd like a private reading, go ahead and get in contact with me. The email's below, and all the other information is there. So let's get into it. I pulled cards from the Serpent Fire Tarot. So it's beautiful artwork, so I want to make sure that these individuals that have made these remarkable cards get the credit they deserve. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle to clarify the cards, but I'm going to read them out to you, and then I'm going to show them to you individually and let you know what your romantic side of your life is expressing to you. And hopefully this speaks to you. It's a beautiful reading, and it's a long time coming, Libra. I'll just say that much. Intuitively, what I've been feeling as a Libra myself, I'm always concerned about doing that, but I figured, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do the Libra love reading first. Everything is love. I think that's where I got caught up, because I kept going, everything's love. I know when people ask specific questions, and the reading will go in that direction. But I also know I can rack my brain like crazy if I fall in love, or I'm in love, or I'm in a relationship, whatever it might be. It's kind of a Libra thing. Venus is the ruler. We are lovers by nature. We're kind-hearted. When we love, we're pretty loyal, unless, through your own personal life experience, you've experienced something that's changed your personality, or, nobody's there exactly their sign. You're many layers of who you are. And this is just kind of a navigation tool for me to line up with the stars and the moons and all of the energies in the cosmos to bring you hopefully something that speaks to you and works for you. And it's such a hard time that I hope that the aspect of your love life, regardless, flourishes. This is a message to all signs. I don't know if I'll say the same thing every time, but so I'm going to go ahead and stop shuffling right there, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you about the cards. The first card we got was the Fool, and it's the dark unicorn. For some of you, what came up for me is you guys recently jumped full throttle into a relationship. Some months back or recently, you jumped into it and you got messy, and you're a magical creature and you always will go ahead and just do it. You go into it and you jumped off that cliff, and that's something that's brilliant about you. However, things did not go as you had hoped. You didn't land exactly where you had thought, and it's kind of like you jumped off. So you jumped off here, and that free spirit loving Libra that jumps off that cliff and just full of heart and love, regardless of what's happened in their life, they're just ready to go into it. And then you have the Hanged Man. Some of you have been hurt and you've been kind of stuck in that place, and in your my dog's going through things. That's kind of what's been happening in the mind of the Libra. But if you look at the general reading, I spoke about the hibernation period that some Libras were going through. And for some of you, that hibernation was due to a broken heart. So I know, I don't know if I really am giving you a hug if that's happened to you. It's a lot of Libras, I think, had a lot of broken hearts. A lot of them leaped into this feeling of yeah, let's do this, let's live, let's go. And then afterwards, it's like you jumped off and you got stuck in a bunch of bushes that were stuck in the whatchamacallit. The imagery that comes up is of free falling off of rest in peace, pet. No. Anyway, I was thinking of the song "Free Falling," which is quite. It works for this. It works for you, Libra. So maybe go on YouTube, listen to "Free Falling" by that amazing singer that passed recently, Mr. Petty. So anyway, the Hanged Man, you jumped off, and you ever seen those movies? I don't know if it's just in Hindi movies, but there's this always this if someone falls off a cliff, it's always like this stone, and then there's like bushes and stuff, and somehow there's like the Hanged Man. You basically kept falling, and then you found a branch, and you just been hanging there. You got hung up. You got hung up on that broken heart. It was shattered, like shards everywhere, and you just got hung up in that space. But in your present circumstance, you're emerging out of that, and you've been in that way too long. Like, way too long. You didn't need to be in all of that for that long. So if you look at this carefully, though, it's a beautiful card, because as you emerge out of this cocoon or this cliff that you've been hanging on, and you're straining yourself, like, don't hang on anymore. And this is basically just representing where you've been, and that you are coming out of it. It has been part of the process. It is part of the process of meeting that person, of meeting that significant other. And if you already are in a relationship, what's coming up for me in that regard, I think you try to do something different and try to be adventurous with your mate, and perhaps it didn't go as you had hoped, and it kind of left you a little brokenhearted, and that happens, and you've kind of just been hanging there and not communicating. Your throat chakra just came up, so for any of you who are not communicating, try writing a letter and then read it out loud to yourself as if it were your mate. Just try it, and if you feel a sense of relief and it makes sense, then, you know, maybe that's your way of coming into the next card, which is quite nice. So, looking at this, though, you will flourish out of the Hanged Man position into this beautiful, all the colors that are within your heart. When the heart breaks, light shines through, and I think in this case, with the heartbreak that's happened to you, Libra, it's actually brought out an array of beautiful colors, so magnificent, really being you, and really that cracked open array of all this light, because you are that rare magical unicorn. You are that dark horse too, and that can be hard. You're that dark horse when it comes to matters of the heart, because you always jump head first. You don't worry. You got that unicorn horn that's magical, but sometimes it doesn't always work out. But in the process of coming out of the Hanged Man and letting the light shine through to your heart to move out that beautiful rainbow light energy, we enter into the Ace of Swords. There's just so many swords in this reading, so there's been a lot going on in your head. It's been a one-sided heartbreak, a one-sided getting through this, and it's been hard, but there's a reason. I know I hate hearing that too, but there's a reason. There's a reason. It's part of the nature of the love you requested. It's part of the nature of the love that you were destined to have. And sometimes there's a lot of heartbreak to get there, but it's part of unraveling this beautiful amount of light, this kaleidoscope, technicolor light that exudes from you. This is actually your time where you will be receiving, I feel, a new love. It's important, though, that you release and let go of the past, though. You gotta let go of that person that your heart clung on to and you just been hanging on a branch. You gotta let it go. So this last moon and the energy is still there, and the love of the universe is always there. So let go, because what the Ace of Swords says here is you really have a hold on the situation, and you're receptive now. Like coming out of this area here, allowing your heart to heal and realizing I've been here a bit too long. It's time for me to emerge out of it. If you emerge out of this hangman position, the next place you end up is the Ace of Swords, where you're in complete receptive mode, and the rays of light that have emitted from your sorrow, from your heartbreak, are now emitting from your hand, and you're in a receptive place. You're ready. You've been ready. And own that. Don't hold on to staying in the hangman position. It's not serving anybody. We then have the Queen of Swords. My dog is trying to chew something, and I'm going to stay as present as I can, but that's part of, I think, the way the mind's been. When you try and find peace and quiet, the Libra's heart starts to break, and it's been really hard. I think there are a lot of Libras with broken hearts. So I think there was something about the energy from Jupiter. I think there's something about also being that person that jumps in when someone's hurt, and being like that person that's opens their heart up to just wrap it around somebody else to keep them warm. And you forget that meanwhile you haven't been taking care of yourself or tending to you. What the Queen of Swords is you're coming out of that now and using the wisdom that you've gained from that experience, this past love affair, or this past situation with your mate, where I feel this is more for singles or people in the process. I think the majority of the reading, it's in the process of you reaching how whatever your current situation is, when it comes to your romantic love. I'm speaking to that. So you go ahead and connect the dots to whatever serves you and what resonates with you. I just want to be clear about that. The Queen of Swords, though, the sorrow and the feeling that you got from this is like, I mean, this woman is boxed in by her thoughts, and it's, I liked the description in the Serpent Tarot, and I thought I would just read a little bit of that because it just really encompasses it really well. So it's reinvention. So when you have Ace of Swords, it's like in this regard, you're using the powers that you have as a Libra, as using your words and your thoughts and being able to turn things around and find that silver lining. But instead of the silver lining this time, what you have found are new answers, new horizons, a new life. And with this, I mean, whoever this person was that entered your life, you don't want to hear it, but they did you good. They did. So when you get the Queen of Swords, you're radiating love, intellect, relinquishing old roles, rationality. A woman stands with a large cube on her head. There is a surrealistic horror and humor here. She is caught inside of her head, though there is also a radiating light shining from her heart center. What will win? We can get stuck in certain modes of performance, thinking that this is the only way we can exist, be loved, nurtured, or accepted. We are being asked to grow out of these roles and find the truth of who we really are. A mantra that they recommend: I break free of old roles and find my truth. So the role that I was expressing before of the Libra tending to move away from nurturing, you go into this mode where you think this is all you deserve. You settle for scraps sometimes, and you can't settle for scraps. You deserve way more. And if you look carefully with the beautiful mind that you have, Libra, you'll see that this situation was what helped you come into a receiving mode. And you have to get in reception mode. You gotta receive, because that is the only way you can get past this obstacle of Seven of Swords. You know everything. You can see it well, and you're very aware. Although behind you you have all these thoughts and worries and past memories of hurt, there is an awakening emerging within you, within your heart. And with the Queen of Swords, you can't stay boxed in. You gotta be able to get out of that. And the reason why is because there is this light piercing from you that you're not able to see. It's almost like you haven't put your head above water because you've been hanging from this place for a long time. But now you're going to really see what you deserve. You deserve way more. You deserve way more, my dear. So much more. So whatever you felt hurt you in this past situation, know the opposite. Know that that was to tell you what you deserve, what you are meant to have because of that exceptional heart that you have. I think being the person that's heartless in a situation has more to heal from. They're in a far deeper situation here. However, with the Libra, you're able to move past those. You have an incredible mind, and with that comes also a pain in the tuchus, all right, in the behind. But you have that you have an exceptional insight. You have an exceptional piercing sight, and there's a lot of things piercing through. My dog's starting to eat, and he crunches really loud because he doesn't have 2 front teeth. So, usually he eats around this time, so I'm kind of in his space. So, my apologies if you hear crunching. Just imagine that it's your past being crunched away by my amazing dog. And soon he will defecate outside, and all your worries will wash out and be gone. Haha. Alright, that's some interesting humor. So if you can get beyond that and you can let this eye lead the way, and don't worry about these guys. This is the past. The past is gone. It's not coming back. It's gone. You can get past this. You have the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is your intuition, your creativity, breaking through old patterns to a higher self, getting into those amazing rhythms that make you. Listen to some music and start dancing and get out of your head and your body. You're too in your head right now. Put some music on, even if you don't, I don't listen to it, put it on. Put any type of song on, I don't care. Get yourself moving. Move that body. Yeah, move it. Okay? This fella here, the Knight of Swords, this is the description. A man holds feathers above his head, symbolizing the beginning of flight. He is overlooked by an all-seeing eye. The dynamic energy of this card is invigorating by notion of finding one's true purpose, which lies above and beyond all status quo. This card asks us to find our own stride and go forth at our own pace. To do this fully, we must let go of limiting belief systems, one which may have stemmed back to our childhoods and may still have an impact on our behavior. Take conscious steps to rise above these limits and be uniquely you. The mantra for this: I march to the beat of my own drummer, finding purpose in my own time. I think there's been a lot of comparison, there's been a lot of judging, and a lot of since you were hanging on that branch for a while, you've done enough. Don't do anymore. And I feel like this coming into yourself, look at this fearless individual here. Look at how fearless that is. And what I love about this mantra is I march to the beat of my own drummer. That's such a Libra. Finding purpose in my own time. Hell yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think there's going to be someone that you meet soon, and they're going to reflect this back to you. And it's important that the idea that there's some repeated pains, there's some past hurts, and it's interesting how they're all identical here. It's a pattern. There's a thought pattern. And maybe you think you've broken all your patterns, but if you're still stuck on somebody and you can't move on, that's a pattern that you're stuck in. And the only way you can move out of it is to be receptive, to be open, and to let that amazing part of you, that beautiful mind, not control you, but for you to use it to your benefit, for you to use it for your benefit of healing and for integrating back into the amazing being that you are. Because you're about to step into another place of, as in your general reading explained, you're stepping into a new role that's huge, like a huge role. And a lot of you, I feel it's a leadership role. And there is an eye above you, watching before you, watching over you. You are safe. And there is an amazing grace that is watching over you at all times. Remember, though, that you must be fierce. You have to be fierce because you're coming into a new knowing of yourself. And whoever this past person was, maybe who they were, maybe they've changed, I don't know. But whoever they were, they did not match up to who you are becoming. For me, what's happening is this ray of light is shining throughout from her, encompassing all of her. And with one, as it encompasses her, she is able to meet somebody who might just reflect back to her, like it's time to recognize your authority, recognize that you are a unique individual, and there is no shame or blame in the way that you offer your heart to others. It's a beautiful thing. And swords, hey, Libras, we're the ones that are supposed to be able to use these swords well. So use it to your benefit. Use it in a way that, you know what, your gut and your intuition is gonna guide you. You're gonna know. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the reading right now. I'm going to maybe pull one card from the Osho deck and just do a brief little closeout. And it's time to let go. If you need to, write the person's name down and just light it up in a safe place. Don't make sure you drop it in a bowl of water and release it. Or just put it down the toilet and flush that sucker. Let it go. And it's not to get, and give it a blessing. Let the person go. The way it is, if someone's meant to come back, they'll just flow right back to you. But the thing is that the person you're meant to be with, the love that you want in any relationship that you're in, if you're missing that love, or if the love you've tried to induce more love in that relationship, but it's just not manifesting, it's just not happening, well, then you need to regroup. You need to go back to you. You need to unhitch yourself from that thought process, and you need to move into your heart space. Heal that heart chakra. Do some meditations around that heart space. And let the light that cracked your heart, let the light from that break through and shine out. It'll encompass all of you. It'll protect you, and it'll help emerge you into the new form that you're waiting to be, that you're going to be. This is an amazing month. So check out the general reading, and you'll understand that part of you meeting that mate, part of you meeting that connection with your mate, if you're already in a relationship, is going to be you really owning and accepting that you do march at the beat of your own drum. And that's all right. That's all right. Be you and accept what's coming to you. All right? So let's go ahead, and I'm going to shuffle the Osho deck, pick a card, read something from it, and, you know, if this resonates with you, please hit like. If you want to do a deeper reading, of course, you know, the information will be below, and you can contact me and we can schedule a reading. So, all right. Oh, okay. So the card that came up is past lives. So let's go ahead and read that. Whether you believe in past lives or not, I believe past loves is relevant to this reading. So, and if the number 18 is relative to you, just throwing it out there. So let me take a moment here. You can listen to my dog crunch away all that annoyingness that's in your heart. He's crunching it away. That's Charlie. He's chewing it all up. He's chewing it up and he's spitting it out. Well, not spitting it out. He needs to digest it, though. You know, that's important because he needs to eat that food. He's distracting me a bit, which is also why I'm trying to wrap this up. But it's just like when you have to do the reading, you got to do the reading. And if he's got to eat, he's got to eat, right? What were we talking about? Love? We're talking about love and past lives. I think the person that's coming into your life is a soulmate. I think a lot of the readings I've done, the next person, like this last, it felt like this is enough, and you were really hoping and waiting because you intuitively already knew that your love is coming. you intuitively already knew that your relationship with your significant other was going to elevate to another place. And, you know, there's just some things that had to be worked through. And let me know. I mean, there's been a lot of growth since this heartbreak, don't you think? I think there might have been. All right, so past lives. The child can become conscious only if in his past life he has meditated enough, has created enough meditative energy to fight with the darkness that death brings. One simply is lost in an oblivion and then suddenly finds a new womb and forgets completely about the old body. There is a discontinuity. This darkness, this unconsciousness, creates the discontinuity. The East has been working hard to penetrate these barriers, and 10,000 years' work has not been in vain. Everybody can penetrate to the past life, or many past lives, but for that you have to go deeper into your meditation for 2 reasons. Unless you go deeper, you cannot find the door to another life. Secondly, you have to be deeper in meditation, because if you find the door of another life, a flood of events will come into the mind. It is hard enough even to carry one life. So release those past pains and heartaches. Let them go. Release them with love. If you can, go near some water and put your hands in the water and imagine just releasing it all and letting it go. And then imagine as it's leaving that you're now embracing new waters into your hands that will sustain and love and nurture you. Because that's what's owed to you, my dear. You're a child of God or the universe, however you feel. And this difficulty that you've just come out of, or this new awakening or disappointment that you might have felt, it helped you to go deeper. And because of that depth, I'm a deep reading sister. I mean, I read a lot of stuff, so I read deeply. So in any case, I hope this resonates. If it doesn't, check your rising sign. Love yourself, be good to yourself. And I think this also means that you have a maybe a soulmate coming in from a past life. Whoever comes next, I wouldn't put expectation, but I would tell you that if you start feeling your heart open again, know that maybe this time there's a good chance that this last person prepared you, and this could be the big one. This could be it. Regardless, you gotta do you. Check out your general reading. Connect the dots. Be kind to yourself so you can be kind to others. Be good to your heart, because your heart is precious. Take care, Libra. Bye. Bless you, Charlie.